I see that you look healthy, mashallah, fa tabarakallah. And could you tell brothers and sisters how to lead a healthy lifestyle? Please note that Muslims here in Toronto are highest rate of heart problems among ethnic groups. Barakallah fiqh. Well, I mean, I would say personally, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna li jasadika alayka haqqa." Your body has a right over you. Now, the amazing thing is, this is an age of miracles and wonders, and one of the fascinating things of this time is they have determined exactly what the haqq of your body is. Exactly what it is, down to the calories that you actually need to consume every day, right? And if you look at the amount of calories that you need to consume, you'll see that it's pretty much coherent with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Most people eat about 3 times to 4 times more than they actually need as fuel to burn energy. And I believe in eating as pure food as possible. I think Muslims should be semi-vegetarian because I think the Prophet ﷺ actually did not eat a lot of meat. During the Khilafah of Umar radiallahu anhu, he forbade meat to be eaten 2 days in a row. We know that that food was brought from Persia that was sweet. And they used to, it's mentioned in many books, Alf Layla wa Layla, things like that. It was like baklawa. And Umar said, when he was given it, he said, أَكُلُّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ هَذَا? Do all the Muslims eat this? And they said, no, only the rich eat it. And he said, إِذِنْ لَا أُرِيدُهُ حَتَّى يَأْكُلَهَا عَمَّةُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Then I don't want to eat it until all the Muslims are eating it. And so, really part of shafaqah to this ummah is recognizing there's a lot of our Muslim brothers and sisters that don't eat very well. And so we should be really thinking about the weight that we're gaining. It's bad for you, first of all, that any physician will tell you that. You don't need 2 cents worth of brains to realize that overeating is not a good thing. In fact, according to the National Institute of Health in America, 80% of American diseases are from overeating. And the other thing is exercise. The Prophet ﷺ exercised. We know that. He actually exercised. And he said that your body has a right. And they used to walk everywhere. And we know that the Prophet ﷺ had a flat stomach, and he died with a flat stomach according to hadith. And he didn't like fat stomachs. And he used to say to people, هذا كان خيرا لو كان في غيرك. This thing that you're carrying around, this extra weight, would look a lot better on somebody else. In other words, that fat that you've got would look better on a skinny person that needs to gain some weight. And Umar, in the Muwatta of Imam Malik, there's 2 hadiths about meat. And both of them are warnings about meat. One of them says, إِيَّاكُمْ وَاللَّحْمِ فَإِنَّ لَهُ ضَرَاوَةَ كَضَرَاوَةِ الْخَمَرِ. Beware of meat because it has the addiction like the addiction of wine. And I recommend for people to read 2 books if they really want to understand this stuff, because it's totally coherent with the Sunnah. One of them is called Diet for a New America by John Robbins, which is an analysis of the meat industry and the wretched things that they do to animals, because we are against the mistreatment of animals. We have to have humane treatment of animals. Part of the ihsan of killing an animal is that you sharpen the knife, that you don't sharpen it in front of the animal, that you give the animal water before you actually sacrifice it, that you don't drag it to where you're going to sacrifice it, you lead it gently, that you don't show it the knife until the last minute when you pull it out quickly. I mean, those are all part of our sunnah that you'll find in the books of fiqh. And now if you go look how they treat animals, it's wretched. And you're eating, that meat that you're eating has part of that reality invested in it. Really. Part of the torture that goes into all those animals, that's part of what people are eating. All that fear and that adrenaline that those animals release constantly into their flesh. That's part of what the people are eating. And that's why everybody's in this state of fear and anxiety. So people should think about that. And the other one, Umar said, أَكُلُّ مَا اشْتَهَيْتَ اشْتَرَيْتَ. Every time you get hungry, you go out and buy meat. And the man said, نَعَمْ يَا أَمِيرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And he said, it would be better if you would stop eating so much meat and allow other brothers to eat. Now, part of the thing, if you look at, it takes, to make 1 pound of meat, it takes 7 pounds of grain. And there's people starving all over the world. So part of this beef-eating Anglo-Saxon culture that's being spread all over the world, which is cow, beef, and McDonald's in every country. I mean, part of the end of time is McDonald's in Mecca. And that's not a joke. That's a horrific thing to realize that there is a McDonald's now in Mecca. The holiest place on earth, and this sick and disgusting multinational corporation that feeds people pulp. Really gross, grotesque food that has no nutritional value at all. No nutritional value. You're better off eating the cardboard that stuff comes in. And that's true. That's true. It's the worst type meat they use. It's all meat filled with hormones. You know, people in Puerto Rico, they had all these women at the age of 6 years old developing huge breasts because they were using so much hormones in the meat, the estrogen, to beef up the cattle. That's what they do. So people becoming homosexuals, well, maybe it's all that hormone meat they're eating, you know? So, and then exercise. Muslims should exercise, men and the women. People should be exercising. Now, women can be a little plump by the sunnah. I mean, you don't blame a woman for having plumpness, but it's unbecoming on a man to be plump. It really is. But the woman, alhamdulillah, they bear children and things like that. So they need some extra weight, and the men shouldn't find fault in that. But the women also should be healthy and take care of themselves. And the women are more responsible about that because they generally tend to cook the food, although it's good for the men to help them out too. كَانَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَخْدِمُ أَهْلَ بَيْتِهِ. He used to serve his family. He used to help them in the house. And now a Muslim man cook a meal for a Muslim woman, it'd be like the woman would pass out. She'd faint. Subhanallah. It's like it's some kind of ar or something like that, عيب يا أخي عيب كيف أخدم زوجتي عيب